Good evening, free enterprise fans, and welcome to our Monday night race. I am Alicel, and I am joined here by Rybon for our holiday Doorbusters. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, Allie. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I am doing fantastic, and I am excited for this race tonight. Um, for those in the US, we're kind of getting ready for our Black Friday with some shopping.
Yep. For our neighbors to the north of the U.S., Canada, I believe Boxing Day is what you primarily celebrate. This great celebration of consumerism.
But we want to make sure that all of the shops are open because you don't want to miss those great deals that you can get. So we've got Unlock the Sewer with the Baron Key, Raise the Big Whale, have Cocal Forge, and Unlock the Pastor and Troya because, well, you've got to buy a pass.
Indeed. As you've alluded to, the pass is sold in shops, and you have to find it. So shopping is one of the big things you have to do this particular flag set.
And tonight we have got four great racers. We have got Warlink, Heart Gamer, Hereward, and Tybalt. Looks like a little bit of a spouse racing here.
Yeah, I wonder who is going to win, at least between Hard Gamer and Tybalt. I'm sure the winner is going to have a little bit of bragging rights tonight.
But we do see that we have a Rosa start. Rosa is a great character to start with. Can do some early game damage with bow and arrows, and you know you have a dedicated healer for the rest of the game.
Indeed. So a few other things about this flag set. If anyone has played Supermarket Sweep before, you walked around, you've seen all these fantastic shops, you have the S Wild flag on, so everything's for sale, including adamants in this particular flag set as well. But unlike Supermarket Sweep, you actually got to buy the things. Nothing's free in this particular flag set. Luckily for our racers, T Wildish with money is on, so you're only going to find money in trap chests. You're only going to find money in untrapped chests, which will help you fuel your mad dash for consumerism.
I wish I could find money in chests.
Yeah, I just tend to find mine in washing machines.
But it looks like our runners are getting ready, and they are off.
And who is Rosa going to be partnered with today?
It is my favorite tiny murder child. That is a Rydia.
And a Baron Key to start. So that is one objective out of the way already.
That opens up one of those sealed shops, so you can see what the weapon and armor sellers are selling today.
So unfortunately for our racers, we don't exactly have a whole lot of power starting out. Rosa starting with her short bow and iron arrows, Rydia starting with really no offense whatsoever. It's going to be a rough go. I'd expect them to start off looting quite a few chests and trying to find anything in shops to give them early power.
Well, with S Wild on, you can find some pretty fancy stuff.
One additional change here, one additional wrinkle of this particular flag set is that you got the Mythidia starting kit. So that is 70 Cure 2 potions, Ether 1s, heals, a bunch of fantastic stuff in order to get you going. You probably won't have to buy anything else, at least in regards to curatives.
And it looks like Tybalt is going to sell literally everything to get enough money to buy that Stardust Rod. But
And a white shirt as well.
Meanwhile, I did see a Bahamut summon in the Baron item shop.
Well, when I said not a whole lot of power early on, there's all the power you need. A Rydia with the Bahamut, a Rydia with a Stardust Rod. The early game is yours, but can you afford it?
Well, you hope to find a little more than these 550. There's 1,000. There's a 3,000. That is 1/90th of the way. I don't know. Hashtag no math.
I didn't know there was going to be math involved tonight. However, we're seeing two racers now, both Heartgamer and Tybalt, heading on over to Castle Eblin. Because T Wildish money is on, you will get the amount of money you normally sell an item for when you find it in a chest. And with Wildish, you're going to find higher quality loot in places like Eblin Castle, Watery Pass. So yeah, this could be definitely the quick path to riches for our two racers here on the right.
Well, and I did see in Eblin Castle a 17,000 and a 42,000. That's a lot.
That is a lot. Almost enough for that, well, more than enough for that Stardust Rod, and potentially enough for that Bahamut summon. But unfortunately for our two racers on the right, there are trap chests here, which Tybalt just found. That will slow him down a little bit.
At least you don't have to try and remember what good items you found when you go back through, because it's all good. It's all money.
But I do like the strategy of Tybalt and Heartgamer both here. Eblin is really paying off for both of them right now. Both will probably walk away here with at least 100,000, if not a little more. Probably way more than that, actually, looking at the numbers coming out of Heartgamer's side. So yeah, early game power is secured.
And here where it's going to give us our first character check. Nope.
Never mind.
Here where it is going to give us our summon check and then our character check here on Mount Hops.
I believe that's Imp.
How useful.
I think at least cast faster than Chocobo. But yeah, not exactly what Herwood was probably looking for here.
Well, with the Dragon God for sale in Baron, I don't think he has much to worry about if needing to use those summons.
Now, one thing we did notice, I believe Tybalt was over in Agar checking the shops there. Similar to Supermarket Sweep with the S-Wild flag on, every shop has an equal chance of having any particular item in this game. So just because, for example, Baron had that locked, that restricted weapon and armor shop, doesn't mean the items are going to be any better there than they would be in, say, Troya.
But you certainly want to give all of those item shops a check because you do not want to miss your pass.
Indeed, you are rewarded very handily for shopping in this particular flag set.
And we have double leg on the left side. We had quarter leg from the elements, and here we have full leg with Rubicante.
And there is our first character, in addition to Rydia and Rosa, which is Sid, a pretty good character to pick up for this particular flag set. He gives you some of that early game power after all, and makes a fantastic anchor later in the game.
Absolutely. Sid is one of those characters that if you're going to find him, you want to find him in your first or second checks, not when you're about to go up to the moon or something like that. And that was a turtle there in Mist Cave, something our runners will not have to face in a nasty spot, say on the moon.
Fortunate for our runners. They're all checking, I'm sure, for the D-Mist, which is still in play here. No free characters, no free key items on in this particular flag set, so looking for that D-Mist, who could be holding something like, you know, the Darkness Crystal, part of Forge, and could be anywhere, because only K-Main is on this particular flag set. There's not going to be anything behind summons, there's not going to be anything on the moon, unless Demas is on the moon.
And looks like Warlink is does get through, but doesn't get any of that XP for either one of the girls.
Very unfortunate for Warlink, because that 4 or 5k XP you get from Hobbs is very important for getting Rydia up to 60 MP, able to cast the Dragon God, and make the rest of the overworld very easy.
Especially with all those ethers we got from the kit. And because I'm biased, I think Tybalt has the best Rydia. Go Tybalt.
Ant Lion Cave is complete, and we get music. Hopefully, Hereward decides to exercise his right to party and show that to us a little later.
Yep, we in the community do love the Twin Harp. We get that awesome song. But this party is not the party you would want to take there.
Not quite yet, no. Hereward heading back to Baron. I wonder what he's up to. Maybe buying that Dragon Guard after all. But not quite enough money for it just yet.
Sell everything.
You don't need a Paladin shield. You don't need 70 others. You don't need a light sword. Because crystals are there for sale.
Yep, we saw crystal swords for sale. You definitely want to go with the better crystal sword, or with the better sword. But Warlink giving us our Fabul check, while Hereward is giving us our Mount Ordeals check.
And speaking of an angry dragon god, this one knows how to count.
I thought we weren't doing math.
I mean, we're not, but he is.
Hopefully Warlink has enough power to get through this in time. Otherwise, Bahamut is going to go Blarg, and Blarg hurts.
Uh-oh, that's unfortunate. Poor Warlink tried to get off that Star Veil at the last second, and unfortunately it didn't pay off. Meanwhile, Tybalt is flexing that early power of that Stardust Rod, using against Rubicon, taking over half his HP away, and a second cast knocks it right out. It's not an angry dragon god, but it's still pretty good.
Well, and it makes the angry dragon god even stronger.
All right, Hereward's going to give his shot against the bull, and we'll see how he fares.
Goes ahead and just pops that Star Veil. Has no interest in hitting the thing. Just gonna let Rydia get that XP.
Pretty wise, using the Star Veil specifically on Rydia to get her a little more, a few more levels here. Probably will make that Bahamut fully online. I noticed that Hereward went to Ordeals and bounced off. I'm not sure if he actually saw the boss up there or not, but he may have just noticed that he didn't have 60 MP on Rydia at that point and wanted to go do something a little easier to make Ordeals fully free.
And speaking of value from Fabul, that is a darkness crystal. That is required.
Hard required. And another character check if our runners here are interested in checking.
I mean,
Also, oh, go ahead.
I totally didn't look at the flags, so there could be a foo up there.
That is true. The only character flag on right now is C standard. Now, Vanilla Fu isn't on, so Fu will be, his normal underpowered self early on until a few bosses are killed, but definitely a character you'd like to pick up regardless.
Thank you, chat, for pulling up those flags so I can look at them again. Yeah. I did notice there are no apples on, so even if you get enough money to buy apples, you're not just going to eat Zeromus to death.
Yep, and unfortunately, if our runners here were interested in doing, say, a D machine grind, no apples also restricts the appearance of Soma drops in shops. So there's no getting Tello to 100 MP or food to 200 MP. They're just going to have to stick with what they got. Looks like here we're headed up to the moon. Find the number of different J items, including Bacchus wines here in Mysidia. Very useful to have, should he choose to go a Berserker route, but looks like he's better suited right now for a caster route.
And Tybalt is showing us the first boss here on Ordeals, and it is Plague. Plague's about to have a real bad time.
Yep, not exactly a place you want to find Plague, however. Actually, it may be Tybalt having a bad time here. This is one of the weakest spots in the game, hits very, very low amounts of damage, has about 2,800 HP, and unfortunately the damage rates didn't work out in this situation.
Yeah, looks like Tybalt's gonna try and maybe cast something with that Rydia.
Well, hopefully an Angry Dragon God, but I'm not sure if he picked it up just yet. And speaking of Fu on the moon,
I'm a witch.
the commentators, I don't want to say curse, more of a blessing in this situation. Well, you have a Darkness Crystal, you have a Fu. There's a lot of options open to you right now.
Probably want to find one more character, and then yeah, make numbers go big.
With Fu in tow, Ordeals has a very high premium, as does Baron Inn. That's 5 bosses between those 2 checks. Gets you very close to, unlocking some of those big spells you need. Weak, for example, for a D machine grind, of which you have so many others. You're well equipped for it right now. Anything else that you may want to do as well, that Demist Cave, that Waterfall boss, all have high value right now.
But Hereward did not find the pass up here on the moon, so gonna head back to the Earth, and we'll see where he goes with that Fu. Oh, that's a miserable spot for that.
Yeah, this is when you just decide, I'm going to bounce off Ordeals right now. I'll be back later.
That is, yeah, that's pretty miserable. I have to get the chart to see if she can be hit by nuke in that spot.
She cannot, and she has very high physical evade as well. Now this fight is doable. Rosa can aim and knock her down. It's going to take a long time, and it's probably not worth the effort, in my opinion.
You could always get a Moon Veil and just go to town. But yeah, Valvalis, definitely not a fun check. That does tell us that our only underground access cannot be that way, though. So hopefully pushes Tybalt to maybe some of the other locations.
Indeed. Underground access, at least intended underground access, cannot be behind Valvalis, Golbez, or Wyvern. So yeah, there's not a whole lot waiting. I mean, there could be go mode waiting behind Valvalis, but it's not the way the seed intends for you to go.
I mean, I personally hope it's Hook behind Twin Harp, but I like suffering and nice things.
I mean, I like that idea too. A Demist holding Twin Harp at Maga Sisters in the Tower of Zot would be fantastic. I'm sorry, holding Hook at the Tower of Zot would also be fantastic, and I look forward to something like that happening.
Or even better, Demist has Earth Crystal, which then has the Hook.
I like the way you think. Notably, Hereward is not immediately noping out of this Valvalis. Maybe he has a plan.
Well, gonna give that Bahamut a shot. Gonna get the pretty bad news, though.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I thought that Valvalis cannot be hit, and yeah, she cannot be hit by magic here. And Hereward thinks better of it. Meanwhile, we're getting a different check down here in the bottom right with Tybalt going through Baron Inn. This is our most likely underground access at this point.
But the octopus is angry. Somebody obviously teased it.
Tybalt's not having a good time, and this is not a place you want to wipe, unfortunately. I mean, you don't want to wipe anywhere, to be honest, but after that first boss in Baron Inn, you don't want to deal with or wipe in Baron Inn 2.
Unfortunately, Spot's got just a little too much punch for his party right now. Looks like he is going to take another shot, but going to have everybody in the back row.
Probably a pretty good play. Could also, I'm not sure if Tybalt noticed the Angry Dragon God for sale here, but hopefully he does check the item shop here before he leaves and picks it up.
And at this point, I think Tybalt is the only one of our runners that does not have that Fusoya.
I believe that's the case. He's the only one who's faded for Bull this far. If he does get through this first, he could have underground access first, and that would probably steer him away from Fabul and Darkness Crystal.
And Heartgamer is giving us a little bit of a bonus check of Value Cave. Might be looking for that Demist.
Or even a nice free fight like King Queen Evelyn up here could pay off dividends. A lot of XP for Rosa, for Iridia, and get you well on your way toward early game power. Well, we'll be back for you never.
I actually didn't see who it was. I was watching Hereward kill an octopus and an inn.
Ah, well, it was Dark Imps, and unfortunately for our runners, or maybe fortunately, because K values not required this seed, that is one of the punchiest spots in the game.
Yeah, dimps are going to hit hard, they're going to hit fast, and they're going to murder your face. So just like shopping at Walmart.
Mm-hmm. So we're running out of key item checks pretty quick. Baron Inn did not pay off. It had a rat tail, which is a nice item to have. But that underground access at this point pretty much has to be behind Twin Harp, be behind Baron Castle, or a Cheeky Demist. And I'm rooting for the Cheeky Demist.
And Warlink has found the spinning bikini tornado. Also going to get the bad news.
Valvalis is that person where I'm not sure if people actually do this anymore. On Black Friday, people actually line outside of like Best Buy and other stores like that. But they're that person that lines up first and will buy everything before you have a chance to actually get it yourself. To answer a question in chat, why is it K value? Because there's always value in K value, just not today.
And I think Mylon and Friends, that's the mom with 17 kids that lines outside of Best Buy. And they just start biting you on the kneecap.
I mean, that's an impressive amount of kids, but like, come on, mom, you gotta let your kids sleep. It's like 4 a.m.
But Hereward has gotten past that first boss. And hopefully there's nothing too nasty hiding on the second boss, because this is another one of those locations where you really don't want to wipe.
There is I've run into Wyvern too many times here. Wyvern's not here today, thankfully, but man, Wyvern can really ruin your day here. Just a Yang, thankfully, which should die to one angry dragon god. I believe this spot in particular only has about a little over 4k HP, so no problem at all. Make that 2 angry dragon gods.
More angry dragon gods, more.
So I'm liking the way that Hereworth party has been set up so far. A Palom, a Rydia, a Rosa, a Fu, and a Sid for an anchor. This is a perfect setup for Reflect strats, and I wonder if we'll actually see him pull it off. But it really depends on who this character is here too. Never mind.
Lol.
Now I just want to say that Spoon flag is on, Spoon is a key item, and C-Buy is not on. So we can always get that Edward back if we want.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't have your reflect strats.
That's true, but you have Edward with a spoon.
So he does what, 3,000 damage?
I mean... Oh hey, an Earth Crystal.
The chain continues.
This actually routes really well for our runners. They could, well, they shouldn't most likely go do Twin Heart, because that has very high magic defense and we have a party full of mages.
But notably, can be hit by nuke.
Indeed. I'm not sure if our Fu has nuke yet.
But we have a dragon god.
That's pretty close to nuke. And there's an arty bow, so never mind. Go do music. So we have Tybalt finishing up Baron Castle real quick. Hard Gamer finishing up Baron Inn, likely doing Baron Castle immediately after. And Warlick also in Baron. It seems like Hereward has a little bit of a lead right now.
Yep, getting that Mega Nuke has definitely just kind of propelled him further forward. Turns out Bahamut's good.
Bahamut's good. You know, Leviathan's also okay, but he's not Bahamut. Regardless, though, Tybalt's doing pretty good with the King of Monsters. And there's our King Queen Eblin.
Yeah, this isn't the kind of boss you want to see in this location, but here you go. But Warlink, not even wanting to wait for the entire script to run out, just goes ahead and hits things real hard.
So here we're doing the optimal routing, because after you finish the tower without, you end up back in Baron. It's usually preferred by many runners to knock out Cave Magnes first. That way, well, you just finish up, you exit out, and lo and behold, you're ready to do Thought rather than doing it in reverse.
That's my favorite routing, but I do believe we're getting to a point where we're supposed to be quiet or chat will yell at me again.
Don't take it. Don't let them yell at you. Yell back at them.
Blarg!
Actually, you're probably right. Chat's kind of scary. They're telling us to shh and everything. And that, according to chat, is the World Tree from Foxanadu, an older Nintendo Entertainment System action RPG. And that's our underground access.
Fancy.
So rewarded for doing music, as most racers should be.
And it looks like Warlink's going to go ahead and follow that trail as well. Going to go do his music.
Interesting, as Warlink did not find the Earth Crystal by not completing Baron, I believe, so won't be able to loot that treasury for probably what is money out of 10, as I believe Tybalt already has. But will find that underground access, so may not actually get punished.
And Tybalt finding some D-Lunars up here. Probably going to have a bad time with an all-mage party.
It's not too bad with summons. D-Lunars only respond with a small self-heal when they get hit by a summon. So you're going to see a little bit of healing here, but maybe 2 to 3 Leviathans should knock these two out pretty quickly.
That is, as long as they don't send out some frogs.
True, we're in a little bit of a race right here, but this is also one of the slowest spots in the game. The Magus Sisters are normally pretty slow in the vanilla game, and that's low agility attributes to the rest of these bosses here as well.
But here we're giving us the mini treasury and now the full treasury, which is hopefully only going to have money, at which point, if it doesn't, I've been lied to.
Great that treasury!
Quick math. How much money's in here?
Lots. That looked like lots.
200,000? 300,000? I mean, it could probably buy a crystal sword, so it's easily a 10 out of 10 for me.
Judging by some of those prices, there may have been a crystal sword in there. Although, who wants to sell a crystal sword? So I don't know the sell price.
I think there's somebody who wants to sell a crystal sword in chat right now.
Nah, that person will yeet the crystal sword into the trash.
It's not very capitalistic. This flag set is a celebration of capitalism.
But Tybalt did get through those D-Lunars, and I think we're going to see who our characters are.
Yep, Tybalt notably has not found that darkness crystal yet, has not yet gone to get that food on the moon, but could find a couple of better characters instead. Right now carrying around an Edward with no spoon, not very useful except as an anchor.
Well, it's Porum. And normally I love a Porum, but not when you've already got a Rosa and a Rydia and a Foo.
I mean, we have, what, 2 murder children? Why not a third?
And
hey,
that is
Cecil.
a Cecil. That's a little spicy because that ordeals is very not nice.
Cecil the Dark Knight, and will probably remain so for a bit. Warlake finishing up Baron, going to get his Earth Crystal, and he's going to have a little bit of unfortunate routing after having done... oh wait, no. I could have sworn Warlink was doing music. I guess he bounced off?
Either that or we talked through it.
Oh, I feel really bad if I did. Because that was a really good song.
Chat is telling us that we did not talk through music, and he went back to Baron. Maybe thought, nah.
Well, that's good. We won't be getting the newspaper then. So a couple notable things. Demon Wall was found, sitting at Dwarf Castle 2. And here's Mylon V, sitting at Zot 2. And we're about to get our key item check behind Tower of Zot. Was it necessary, or was this not exactly the best use of time for this particular seed?
And it looks like Warlink would like a Dragon God.
I can't blame him. I want a dragon god too. Now we're about to have a reprise of music, but behind Tower of Zot is potential value. More tower.
That will be great once our runners go through that hook route, as I do believe that was the last logical check. And while Heart Gamer finishes up this orb fight, we do see Hereward is starting the D Machine fight.
The most fun part of any particular stream, but Hereward knows what he wants here. He has 4 fantastic characters for Reflexdrath in Fu, Rydia, Rosa, and Palom, and an excellent anchor in Sid. I believe he also has the Dwarf Axe, so that also helps. This party is more than good enough to defeat Z with the amount of levels, and this D Machine will take a little bit of time. Life Wish is on, so it won't take that much time, but it will get him to precisely where he needs to be for all the power he needs for this particular flag set.
Yep, this is going to turn into a real good case of let Rydia hit things, let Palom hit things, let Rosa hit things.
And it's another example of grind early, grind often.
But Tybalt has gotten his Moon Man and is going to go in for his D-Machine grind.
So Tybalt fading Fabul, fading Moon quite a bit, had that unfortunate wipe at Baron into, but despite that, hot on Hereward's heels.
Hasn't done music yet though, so does not have that hook.
However, unlike like the other racers who have done music earlier, Tybalt is going to likely walk away with this with at least 2 nuke casters. So, and a couple of Quake casters as well. It shouldn't be as much of a problem for him. Heck, he may have a Meteor caster.
And Heartgamer getting through that music fight gets her underground access.
Be interested to see if Heartgamer decides to head directly underground, unlike our other racers that have found that Darkness Crystal and have found Hook as well. So one alternative to this particular strategy of grinding to power overwhelming and doing reflect strats is to just do something called Foo and Friends. In this case, you just try to get to about 1200 HP on a few characters, reflect nukes on Foo, and defeat Zeromus that way. A little more technical of a strategy to defeat the Zeromus, but it lets you skip the grind entirely. And it'll be interesting to see if any runners tonight, of which there are many, not just these 4 on Restream, manage to pull that strategy off.
Oh, and Tybalt is giving us a little bit of a cheeky check here. No, thank you.
There's a lot of bosses you would like to see there. Maggot Sisters, not one of them.
They get dummy thick amounts of damage. No.
And importantly, dummy thick amounts of HP, which, unfortunately, with the lack of offense, will take a long time to chew through.
And it looks like Tybalt isn't going to do a grind. Was hoping to find something beatable there.
This is an interesting play from Tybalt. Invested a little bit of time to walk on up there. Maybe he doesn't realize his Foo already has weak. Or if he does, maybe he just thinks that he's a little behind. Or maybe his Foo actually doesn't have weak, as he hasn't cleared the Twin Harp just yet.
I totally haven't gotten up to the giant and realized I don't have a weak caster.
It's never happened to me before. There's weak. Back to the giant with you. Or maybe not.
But looks like might be doing the Baron Manip here. This is a safer way to get the fight you're looking for up in the giant. And honestly, I think the chart's easier to read, but teach their own.
The Baron Manip is the only Manip that I have personally learned, so if I ever do a D-Machine grind, this is what I do. You don't have to do it necessarily in Baron. You can do it outside Mysidia, or even on the moon if you would like to. But you're right, it's much safer to do because you can do the Manip inside the giant, but you're at risk because a lot of the times you'll get back attacked while you're trying to find that particular fight, and you may not be able to survive that back attack.
But it looks like Hereward is finished up with his grind and got a bonus Hourglass 3. I didn't know they dropped those. And is going to go check out and see who's there and going to be like, ha, that's funny, no.
Not the demist he was likely hoping for.
Demist behind, or demist at Orb.
I would love demist at Orb holding, you know, part of the forge.
That would be the best thing ever.
Now, I may have missed it, but has Hereward turned in the rat tail just yet?
I don't think so. But possibly.
That could be our magma key. As well as, you know, now that Hereward has levels, I wonder if Hereward could knock out that Valis now and find out what Thunder deals.
Maybe. I still don't know what he's going to hit Valis with. I guess find a bow for Rosa and hit it real hard.
Yep, if I remember correctly, there were already bows for sale in Mist, but I don't know if he picked one up or not. Meanwhile, out of options, Warlake, I believe, is heading on over to Twin Harp, which will eventually give him his underground access as well. And speaking of Rat Tail, we're about to find out what is behind that.
And I think Tybalt has found the correct encounter, and Hart has finished up the Tower of Zod. And you called it. There's our magma key.
Oh, we have a whole lot of commentator blessings tonight. No curses, promise.
I know in some discussions on this flag set, originally we were also going to have it required to launch the Falcon to guarantee that Eblin shop. But something too evil something.
No such thing. It's too evil. Trust me, the runners like it. Plus, anyway, that path could be in Eblin too.
That is true. But Hereward is probably going to be the first of our runners to go underground. At 50 minutes in.
For how rude this seed has been, that's actually not a bad time.
Well, it was just all those nasty crowds at all those other stores, so now you're finally getting to your favorite store.
Hereward is learning the wisdom of shopping online on Black Friday. But no pass.
Everything he wanted was sold out.
No pass and not interested in checking the character because his grind is done. And here comes music.
But I believe that leaves only 2 shops available. The Troya shop and the Summon shop.
And all the underground shops, I believe.
Not Troya, the one underground.
Oh, Tamra?
Tamra, that's the one.
Yep, I believe we're down to Tamra, Feymarch, and Dwarf Castle.
Oh yeah, I always forget about Dwarf Castle. I think everybody does.
I normally want to forget about it.
Especially since we have a wall waiting for us there.
Fortunately, not too bad of a spot. Only about 3k HP at Dwarf Castle number 2, so that wall will die pretty quickly, especially to Hereward with the amount of levels and nukes he has on his characters right now.
And here we're picking up that heroine robe. I think that would get that Rosa through Valvalis really easily.
Indeed. That's a very heads-up play. That is pretty much Valvalis insurance in case you don't find a Kane. And notably, Hereward did not check the hook route character, so that could be the Kane in our seed.
Or it could be, he could be at the end of the giant, which is always what I hope for.
So there is nothing really of value here in Tamra. No Passat Leaf. There were Moon Veils, which are actually quite nice. If you can't find Star Veils, for example, a Moon Veil will do in a pinch for Reflect Stress. But here we're probably just making a mental note, and we'll come back later.
And might be looking for a cursed ring at this point to put on that Sid to make him even slower.
Meanwhile, on the bottom right, Tybalt having a little bit of difficulty with his D-Machine grind, but did pull it out at the last second. And we'll make a good recovery here, I'm sure.
Yep. D-Machine grinds, while our runners can make them look very, very easy and they can look very boring, they are technically difficult and can go south in a very quickly.
Yep. A lot of, sure, it looks very mechanical, as you said, but if you make one small mistake, you could lose 5-10 minutes. Nothing our runners actually want to do here, of course. Nothing of interest here. I'm not sure. Did Hereward check the bosses here in Feymarch?
No.
That could be a demist. That'll be interesting. But instead, heading on down to Sylph.
Also, I didn't see a pass.
I did not, so I believe it has to be in Dwarf Castle at this point, unless I'm missing something on the overworld. It's not something you see every day, summoning a chocobo to kill a D-Machine.
Sometimes Boko just wants to get in on the action.
And by getting in on the action, Boko just allowed 2 characters, not just one, to throw a life potion.
For those who may not be too familiar with Free Enterprise, we do have something called the Life Glitch enabled, where enemies will start with enemies have 0 vitality. And when you kill them and cast life, it resurrects them, but they have 0 vitality, so they were resurrected with 0 hit points. And then they die again, and you get twice the experience. It's great.
Or 3 times the amount of experience, as Tybalt has just shown, because each life potion counts as an enemy dying. And with these, D-Machines being valued at about 35, 36, no, I think more than 40,000 XP, that is a lot of XP very quickly.
Antlion has moved from its natural habitat of the moon and is going to be very sad.
And I'm just noticing now, Rydia Palom not exactly in nuclear range. So we may be seeing more of a Fu and Friends approach from Hereward, because he did not take Rydia and Palom all the way. Here we go. Heartgamer and Whirling both chasing Hereward down underground. Both remembered to check their rat tail very wisely. Found that magma key, are being rewarded by avoiding that hook route entirely.
Yep. And for anyone in chat who wants to learn how to do this crazy grind, or any of the other fun things you see here that our racers are doing, we invite you to check out our Discord. It's just a great place with awesome resources, very newbie friendly, just a wonderful community, and I can't hype it up enough. People are great there. I love them.
Yep, tons of very supportive people, newbie channels to help you. Any questions you may have, and of course, the world-renowned Pink Puff League, which is a league for newer players to learn the game in a very accommodating and very welcoming environment. Join the Discord and check it out.
And speaking of Pink Puff League, weren't you one of our puffs last year?
Yep. Once a puff, always a puff. Oh, there's Wyvern, by the way.
Blarg!
Blarg is fast, but Hereward has lots of levels, and this is the moderately weak spot.
I'm actually surprised that Mega Nuke hit all of the characters.
This is a unfortunate mistake here. I believe Bahamut coming out is going to trigger a counter Mega Nuke, which will probably finish up here.
Yes.
So for those who may not know, Wyvern will respond to any summon, Bahamut, Chocobo, Imp, with a counter Mega Nuke. Kind of unfortunate, not exactly what you want to see. And unfortunately, you also have an Anchored Sid here, which is speeding Wyvern up quite a bit. But Hereward's going to bounce back, and will, I'm sure, take out Wyvern quite handily here.
Yep. Once you know Wyvern's there, Wyvern kind of loses his oomph.
Yep, it's that element of surprise that will normally get you. Here we're turning down the battle speed here. Not all the way down to Wyvern standard time, which is what we call battle speed 6, but just battle speed 3. And should be more than prepared for this. And hey, they're the ninja.
Blah. Honestly, we really haven't found anything good for him.
I believe I've seen at best maybe a couple Murasames in shops, but those are expensive. Now, one other thing, while we see this ninja stand back up and whether or not Warling decides to pick him up, and it looks like he does, avoiding or getting rid of Pelham, Heartgamer did prove to us that Pass is indeed in Dwarf Castle and has her pass ready to go.
So at this point, we're just looking for both pieces of the forge.
Now here we're showing off a very interesting strategy. As I mentioned, if you summon against Wyvern, he's going to counter Mega Nuke. So you throw up a few Veils, and hey, you can just reflect that counter Mega Nuke and kill Wyvern using his own medicine.
Unfortunately, this Wyvern is angry.
He's very angry.
Hopefully this Rydia can survive this nuke.
Hopefully she can survive this one too.
Okay, Rydia, you've got to send out the Bahamut, and it's got to kill this time.
Trust the fourth, Rydia.
And there we go. And there's our Legend Sword.
It's a very rude, hard required Wyvern.
So this was quite a tower. We still haven't seen what the second key item is, but since K main is on, a lot less chances for a whammy.
Yep, because Pass is in shops and not considered a key item or in the key item pool on this flag set, there is one Womp. And we don't know where it is, but everything else is going to be a key item. It could very well be the Adamant, and Tower has all of Forge.
And Heartgamer picked up a second Foo here in Dwarf Castle.
What's better than one Foo? Probably two.
Probably. I mean, I figure Foo and Friends is easier if you have two of them.
And Neil Bari calling it in chat. One good thing about that edge is that he can throw things, and he can hit every time when he throws things, including against a very highly evasive Valvalis.
That was the most requiredest of required towers ever.
Well, that's go mode once Hereward decides to head on over to Dwarf Castle.
And I believe he knows that that is the only shop left to find that pass.
Now, Supersmith is not on, so this will be an Excalibur. Which sells for money. We love money this flag set.
And a nice little shop opened up here with absolutely nothing for mages. That's very sad.
Yep, so the Coco shop normally has very good gear on other shop flag sets, but on S Wild, it has just as equal a chance at decent items as every other shop, which is normally underwhelming for this shop. Did Hereward happen to find a pass earlier and I didn't notice? Oh, he's checking Kaipo.
Yep, might not have checked Kaipo yet and may have forgotten about Dwarf Castle.
I'm sure he'll double back very quickly. Meanwhile, Heartgamer is marching up the Tower of Babel. She may very well find her forge up here too, and that will put her in go mode just as much as Hereward.
Yep. While Hereward does have the level advantage, just by doing that grind, 2 foos is still good.
2 foos better than 1, especially if you're doing Foo and Friends. And while we have a little bit of lull in the action, I want to call out Neil Bari and Firebird Lover. Neil Bari for restreaming and Firebird Lover for pushing the buttons this evening. Doing a fantastic job, of course. And as well to my co-commentator, Ali, who has been keeping me in line.
Well, you wouldn't believe that this is Rybon's 2nd time at commentary. You're sounding like an old pro. Definitely give him a follow.
Maybe just old.
We're all like Mylon. Oh, my body.
What's very rude about this seed is that we have this Valvalis here at Ordeals 2. It has been teasing us all game. And it turns out it has no value.
Nope. We'll maybe find the spoon up here, or the Luca key.
Maybe the Pigtail, which will turn into an adamant on this flag set.
That sounds like effort.
Notably, Hereward found himself a big pile of sirens, so that will get Rydia and Palom to nuke and make Z very, very easy.
And that Valvalis brought that Fusoya up to full power.
Who could be back here in the changing room? Could it be Alt Gauntlet?
I love an alt gauntlet up here. It makes me happy.
Here's the Pigtail. That's not an Alt Gauntlet, though. To answer a question in chat from Hamster of Dark, the difference between Reflect Strats and Foo and Friends is that Reflect Strats really you can do with most black mages, and it normally involves, or white mages casting white, and it normally involves getting to a particular high level where you can cast white, nuke, level 3 spell, things like that, and have at least 1200 HP to survive Nerf's Big Bangs. Foo and Friends is more of a take on 1200 HP strats. 1200 HP strats is where you normally throw up a bunch of Star Veils, reflect vampires, reflect spells, to allow Zeramis to eventually kill himself using nukes that you reflect back onto him. Fu is that little X factor in this particular strategy where you are reflecting nukes, which speeds up the process for the most part. Generally, one requires a lot less grinding than the other. But it's also much higher risk.
I just like power overwhelming.
There's nothing better than power overwhelming. But it looks like Hereward is done with his grind. Unfortunately, a little short for Rydia, one level too short for Nuke, but still has more than enough power to make this happen.
Yep, and I think this is about the time that we're supposed to start asking things.
Is this the part where we talk about butts?
I do believe it is.
Is that appropriate? I thought this was a family channel.
Well, Zeromus is too big and too bad and too nasty for us to randomize, but Zeromus wants to be randomized too. So Zeromus does what anyone should do and cosplays as other characters. And Zeromus has something like 500 plus outfits, which would be fantastic and must have a closet the size of the moon. So yeah, would you like to do the honors tonight, Rybon?
Sure, I'd love to. So, the big question that we normally ask at this time of the stream is, whose butt are we kicking tonight? And is it cute?
And does it have a butt?
Does it have more than one butt?
And these are not the only 4 racers racing tonight. We do have several off-screen racers, and we have had a couple of finishes. Microcorks has finished in first, Possumorpheus has finished in second, and Antidale has finished in third.
3 very good racers, and GG's to them all. So yeah, about that butt.
The crystal should be coming out shortly. There it goes.
That is many butts.
That is the Prinnies.
The Prinnies from, I believe, the Disgaea series, correct?
Sure.
I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 6, 8 butts. That's almost a record, I think.
This one's been around for a while, but I do love it because they're precious and adorable, and I love them.
I mean, they're all pretty cute, except for that one in the middle.
He's just a little chonk.
Looks a little too angry.
But that Big Bang did come out, and Porum is down. That's bad.
Yep, it was nerfed. The Silk Web did go out, but this Reflect strat is going to be a little dicey. You don't have Nuke on Rydia. Palom is down, unfortunately. And it looks like Zeromus is acting pretty quickly. So when you don't have Nuke on Rydia, I guess you cast Virus. And it won't do as much damage as... Oh, well... I mean, it does a decent amount of damage. Unfortunately, it hit the wrong target.
Yeah, this is going a little not great. Surprised that Foo was in the middle. Agility is a thing in this game. There's lots of guides on it on the Discord. I struggle to understand it.
Agility is kind of a black magic, it has been described. But an easy rule of thumb for agility is that, at least for Zeromus, if you want other party members to be relative agility 1, also known as RA1, they need to have, I believe, 2.5 times the amount of agility as your anchor. And your anchor, unless Sea Hero or Vanilla Agility is on, is always going to be your character in the middle slot. So Foo, with 20 agility, would require someone to have, I believe, 50 agility to be RA1. And unfortunately, none of these characters are fast enough to reach that. 2.5 times 1. Thank you, Moboy. So 51 agility in this case. Now, Foo is a fantastic anchor, however, if you can throw a curse ring on him. He's the only character who doesn't really gain agility up through level 70. So his 20 agility is static. You throw on a curse ring, he's down to, say, 5. It's very easy for people to get to 11 agility for RA1.
But we do have that Palom back out. Nukes are coming out. Cure 3s are coming out on that Sid. Really, as long as you can stay on top of things, this should be fine.
Yep, Hereward had an excellent job recovering. Still a little dicey. And unfortunately lost the Rose there.
Oof. Yeah, but Black Hole is coming out, so that is a tiny bit more time to take care of things.
Yep, this can be recovered. And meanwhile, on other screens, we're seeing Tybalt walk out of the Tower of Babel. Is going to have his go mode. Heart Gamer unfortunately bounced off that Wyvern or didn't do the Wyvern at top of tower, so she did not get her Legend Sword just yet. Instead, investing her time in making a bunch of eggs into Omelette, which will probably get her the HP level and the power she needs to get through that Wyvern and get her own go mode.
And Big Bang comes out. Another Black Hole. Gonna try and get that Palom up.
Doing a good job of sticking in it. A lot of players may have decided to reset by this point, but if it can be recovered, you should probably try to recover it.
Well, we did accidentally just kill Sid. Whoops.
It's okay. Look, he's back up. He's perfectly fine.
And that Cure 4 comes out, so hopefully we've got this back in a good spot.
It depends on whether or not this Big Bang here, the high roll or low roll. It's low.
And there's Cure 4 to make sure our party members... Oof, but that Black Hole coming right out and taking off that Star Veil.
Still okay. Took off that Star Veil. Sid will actually get the heal now. And however, it's going to slow them down a little bit. It's going to slow down Hereward's progression for casting nukes. Oh, and that's his last Star Veil. That's unfortunate.
Yep. Unless he has another stack somewhere, this could get spicy.
Yep, this is kind of do or die mode. Cast your white, you cast your nuke, you hope it kills. If it doesn't and you lose your Star Veil, you have a shot of you can try to cast a wall with Rosa and reflect that way, or you can direct cast and hope it gets you over the hump.
And here's the Big Bang. We'll see if our characters stay alive. And that Palom goes down. Oof.
As does the Rosa, unfortunately. So I believe every 3 rounds, you'll see Dudamus, or Zeromus, cast a party-wide virus, which will do quite a bit of damage. That's just based on his script, and something that you normally need to be aware of when you're trying strategies like this. Here comes the Big Bang.
But we do see Tybalt has finished forging, and likely going to head up to take on Zeromus as well.
Tybalt, with his levels, shouldn't have too much of an issue with it. I think he did D-Machines a little longer than we saw Hereward do, so may have Nuke on Rydia already. Meanwhile, we're seeing Hereward really stick in there, recovering quite nicely from very near wipes. Very impressive play. Fortunately, that Rosa is running very low on mana.
Yep, Sid's trying to throw Ethers, but Ether 1s are not nearly as effective as, say, Ether 2s. And Warlink finishing up some eggs. And it looks like Tybalt wants just a few more eggs to take on his as well.
Yep, with white, I believe, costing a little under 50 mana, Nuke costing 50 mana itself. Other ones, unfortunately, are not going to do a great job of keeping your mages topped off in this particular fight if it goes a little too long. That would have been a nice little swag kill right there. Reflected Virus for 300 damage, killing C.
Unfortunately, that is a wipe. And Hereward getting back in his airship. Might want some more supplies in case things go south again.
Yep, that or maybe getting that one last level on Rydia to get her nuke and speed this up a little bit. That's unfortunate. A very good effort from Hereward. I'm very impressed at his gumption and his guts to stick with it. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out this particular time.
And I think Hereward also wants one more level on that Fu. As this will fully power up the Fusoya and get nuke. Nuke was certainly hiding today.
Waiting at the very last moment. So now he has 2 nuke casters, in addition to a white caster and Rosa. Very good. This could be the difference he needs in order to be Zeromus. Heartgamer, unfortunately, going into turn in Sheila 1, seems to have faded top of tower after bouncing off Wyvern, and unfortunately that's going to cost her a little bit because that is where her go mode lies right now.
Yep, totally understandable. Wyvern is awful and nobody really wants to do it. So may want to check out some of the easier bosses, see if maybe it's in another spot.
All right, we have Hereward heading in for round 2, and I think Tybalt, hot on his heels, ready to enter his Zeromus fight as well.
And Warlink heading up the tower, gonna get his forge.
Warlink taking a very interesting strategy compared to the other 3 racers on stream, going with a more traditional mixture of melee and magic fighters rather than going purely magic like the other 3. So that Cecil could make Zeromus quite a bit easier.
Yeah, just throw a crystal sword on him. Chonk chonk.
And not just Aronis, but even that wyvern at the top of tower. Hard Gamer marching right down the hook route, going to find that edge. I wonder if she'll take him or not.
And in the meanwhile, we did have a couple more finishers. Scythe Marshall finishing in 4th, and Flurry 14 finishing in 5th.
GG's to both of them, and our racers. Let's see if we can get a number 6 finisher here on stream tonight. We have a lot of very talented racers running tonight. I believe we have a grand total of 15 competing this evening. So a very wide group of racers this evening. Nothing wrong with finishing in the top half. Nothing wrong with finishing at all, based on how difficult this flag set and how rude this flag set has been so far.
Yep, this is not an easy set of flags, and this seed itself has been just not very nice to our runners. But does look like Heart Gamer is going to check the Luca Cave. We still haven't seen a spoon or that sand ruby.
The good news for Heart Gamer is that there are no more key items that will lead her down a rabbit hole. There's a legend sword, which we know where that is. A spoon, which she'll probably reset out of. We know where the pink tail is at the top 4 deals. So yeah, she's lucky to march down here and head right on out, reset out, unless the worst case scenario for her, they're the D-miss down here.
Yep, that would be very, very frustrating, I think. This spot is very, very fast. So you're not going to be getting a whole lot of hits in between phases.
Not only that, but it forces you to kill it and warp on out, only to find out it's not the go mode you're looking for. So let's hope that doesn't happen.
Yep. We're going to hope that D-Mist is on the giant behind the Magus sisters. Wow. Holding spoon.
Oh, and not checking for the D-Mist. That's a very good play. Nope. Remembering, oh wait, there could be a D-Mist there.
Yep. But on the bottom half, we see whites coming out. We see nukes coming out. I don't think either one of these dude misses are going to be long for this world.
Yep, it's going to be a photo finish between these two. I believe that Tibalt got into the fight a little later, but his Rydia does have nuke, whereas Hereward's Rydia does not.
And I did notice Hereward did move that Foo out of the middle and has put that Rydia there.
A pretty good play. I didn't see... Oh, well, hey, there's victory for Hereward. So congratulations to Hereward, our number 6 overall finisher.
GG's, and we'll see if we can get him in for an interview. But meanwhile, Warlink has gotten Forge. Gonna go turn that in. Oh, gonna stop by Dwarf Castle first. Good play. Probably knows that this has got to be the pass.
Yep, so Warlink will be in go mode in about T-minus 10, 9, 8. And I will be making his trip down to Zeromith very soon. Didn't buy the pass, I believe. Oh, maybe he heard me. No, about 5 more sirens.
Warlink. Warlink, you have to have the pass. Go back. But we have Tybalt also finishing in 7th place. GG's.
Congratulations to Tybalt, a time of 1:27.13. Very good play from both of our finishers this evening.
And I believe we are joined by both Hereward and Tybalt. GG's to both of y'all.
GG.
Hey, thank you. GG.
Yeah, so congratulations to you both. What are your thoughts on this particular seed?
Back attack Val, no thank you.
Yeah, that was quite the surprise.
Yeah, I can't blame but either of you or both of you for bouncing off Val. Just about everybody did it on Restream. We had only one person, I believe, get through it, which was Warlink. Ended up just being a pink tail. So good choice on both of you for recognizing that Val wasn't required at all.
Yeah, my biggest mistake there was not realizing Foo didn't have nuke for Z, and that just totally threw me off.
Well, I got one better for you here, Ward. I got Foo. He didn't have weak, and I went to go start a D machine grind. And then went,
Oh
wait,
no.
I don't have weak.
I did manage to check for that one first.
And then I shortchanged it.
Well, and then-
Otherwise, it was really about how do I get enough money to get Bahamut. And then it was mostly solved.
Yeah, we saw some interesting divergence early on. Tybalt, you headed over to Castle Eblin and found quite a bit of money there. Hereward, I noticed you were looting a lot of other locations. I believe you looted Damsian and Antlion. Didn't find quite the amount of money, but you were still you're still progressing through the seed quite well. I was also cheering you on here where the entire time during that first attempt at Z. You came back from the brink many, many times. A very impressive play and very impressive gumption the entire time.
Yeah, eventually, Ether ones just weren't restoring enough MP, so couldn't quite get there. It didn't help that Palom ate the counter nuke, since he was going to be like 70% of the damage.
Yeah, that going straight for Palom, and then that big bang immediately after just kind of made it a little more difficult.
Yeah, sure did.
So, Tybalt, I noticed one thing. Compared to everyone else in our stream, you faded Fabul for quite a while. What were your thoughts behind that?
I figured I had Stardust Rod Viridia, and I could get through most of the overworld fairly easy. Fabul, it's one of those try to single dip Fabul. And, depending on what can be there, it can be kind of mean. Bahamut there, not too mean, but I've had pretty hard stops there with mediocre party members.
Yeah, that allure of single dipping Fabul is a siren they call me very often too, and I've been bitten for it.
I would have faded Fabul until Rydia had 59 MP because Elements Fight didn't give the full OBS amount. So I needed more XP experience.
I'm sorry, I believe you bounced off of, was it Hobbs, the first place you bounced off of, because you didn't have enough mana for Bahamut at that point?
No, I took Hobbs down 5.
Oh, right, you bounced off of Ordeal's 1, right?
No, I took that one too. It's Val, but no, the problem was with Hobbs and Elements not giving, the full experience value if you only do the first 2 parts of it. Rydia didn't have the MP to do Bahamut. That she normally would have more than 60 HP by that point if you've done Antlion and Hobbs.
It was just one of those seeds where they were pretty rude to that small murder child.
Yeah, you want experience yet? No, you're not going to get it. You're going to get split XP here. You're going to get split XP here. And you're just going to go, oh, come on.
I did notice an interesting strategy that you used against Wyvern at the top of that tower here, Word.
Oh, that was called forgetting that he counters summons with Mega Nuke, and then remembering that's a strategy.
And it paid off for you quite well.
Yeah.
You didn't have to play the life roulette like I did.
Yeah, well, I had mistracked, and so I thought I had fewer KIs than I actually did. I would not machine grind when I did, had I known that I actually had was almost to 10 KIs. So, made a mistake, and it ended up working out because she had enough HP to eat some nukes.
Yes, notably, of the 4 streamers we had restreamed this evening, you were the only 2 that decided to grind early, grind often the moment that pretty much like a hook route was staring you in the face. Could you explain to me why you decided to make that action rather than, go underground and try to find go mode that way?
One of the things with this particular flag set is that you're limited by what you can buy. Now, it is wild shops, but finding the money to be able to buy that equipment that you want. I mean, Crystal Sword is what, 215,000? Good luck. Who doesn't need equipment? Mages. What do they need? Experience.
And what did the seed have a lot of right away? It was essentially, there were 4 mages in the party.
Exactly.
It was just like, this is the party, this is what we're going to go with.
And with the allure of back attack Val, I mean, Ordeals is almost shot at that point, so you're not going to get Tella unlocked, you're not going to get Cecil unlocked until you can get through that back attack Val.
Yep. Well, very logical, very good play from both of you on that regard. It definitely paid off for you this particular seed.
Yep, y'all did a great job. Was very entertaining. Was there anything else you wanted to say about the seed or free enterprise in general?
As always, thanks for the restreaming and commentating. I know we have some wonderful commentators. We couldn't do this without you. We may be racing, but you all put the show on. You get meaning to our races.
Yeah, same. Thank you for all the work you're doing back there.
Well, thank y'all, because we wouldn't have anything to talk about if it weren't for you guys.
I mean, I guess we could talk about Black Friday, but no one really wants to hear us talk about that. Y'all are far more entertaining.
Good.
But thank you both very much.
Only last thing I'll say, I thought it's a pretty clever flag set, making us open all the shops with the objective. So when I saw that, I was like, hey, this is a pretty sneaky way to do it. I like it.
I was panicking for a second when I had checked every other shop for the pass. So I'm like, is it P shop?
There was actually talk about adding the Falcon as well to make sure you opened Eblin, but I think that got nixed.
It was fine. We went there anyway. What actually, now that I remember what happened is I was going to go with like a Fu 1200 strats until Sirens were in the same shop as the pass, which kind of made me flip around to getting White and Nuke, which maybe ended up costing me in the end because I totally kind of messed up my first attempt at Z. But that's how it goes.
Yeah, I'd wonder if anyone's going to try to pull off Foon for this particular seed. Nobody on Restream did, but it's a very high risk, high reward play, and you guys still got Z down, so GG's to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And have a good night.
Thanks so much, y'all, and again, GG's.
GG's.
Take it easy, you two.
And meanwhile, we've got an interesting little race going on between Warlink and Heartgamer, entering the Z fight right about at the same times with a little bit different parties, though.
Yep. On the left with Warlink, you see a more traditional Berserker type setup with a Cecil and an Edge both online. Cecil hitting a very big number that, not sure if that's an Excal. I think it might be an Excal. Pretty much, no, those numbers are almost like certainly Crystal Sword numbers.
And the Adamant Armor, probably.
Yep, definitely. That's a nuke and a stick right there. Every single time Cecil swings, he is nuking that Dudamus right there. Meanwhile, we're seeing Heart Gamer stick with the more popular Reflect strat this particular flag set.
Yep. With two Foos, a Rosa, and a Palom, nukes are going to come out. But Dudamus is dead on Warlink's side.
So GG to Warlink with a finish time of, let me pull it up real quick. 137.29, finishing in 9th place overall.
And we'll see if we can't get him in for an interview. But here's a big bang on Heart Gamer's side. Hopefully we can keep enough characters up. Oh.
Doesn't look like it was nerfed, unfortunately.
But does still have Rosa and a second Foo up, so fingers crossed we can get Cure 4 out, slap another Starveil up, and take it home.
These three are more than powerful enough, more than you need in order to finish off the Romas here, and a lot of damage has already been done. I'm sure there's no reason to panic. And that sound tells me that Warlink has joined us in the chat here in Discord. GG, Warlink.
That is a demonstration of hot garbage, but GG's, thanks, everything.
Well, I mean, that seed was hot garbage with all the, the rude thing they threw in front of you. You know, that Valvalis had Ordeals too, for example.
Yeah, I saw that first. When I saw that first, I thought to myself, okay, this is not Logic Underground progression. Let's go through everything. And apologizing to chat for psyching Alan Magnus because halfway through, it's like, oh wait, I have Baron key. I can do that first. Let's check to make sure and see if that's progression or Kane or something else to be able to progress. Seeing that Edward and that Earth Crystal was like, well, let's get more money, and then go up tower, sell the porn. I was like, okay, please let there be a Kane or a Yang. And when they walk in and see that Cecil, let's just say there were some words that I cannot say on stream.
But you did take that Cecil to great effect there at the end.
Yeah, as soon as I got that pink tail to convert the paladin, at that point it's like, okay, let's go to aggro, pick up that crystal sword, turn that pink tail, get the adamant armor, and time to go Angie for the rest of the seed because I was full tilt mode because Val has been the choke point of all the fun. It just took all the fun out of me.
Well, a very good job regardless of making the best of a bad situation. Not many, you're the only restream member that found that pink tail, found that adamant armor, but you used it to great effect. And also just want to note that we have just been joined by HeartGamer26. GG to you as well.
Thank you. That was a fun race.
It was very fun to watch. I hope it was just as fun to play.
A little nerve-wracking, but fun.
So both of you, walk me through it. We saw the other two characters on stream head up and do a D-Machine grind. I don't believe either one of you did, but instead decided to go with eggs. What facilitated that particular grind decision on your parts? Warlink, if you'd like to go first.
Crystal Sword Cecil with armor go burr, so eggs are a lot faster from my point of view.
How about you, Hart?
The time I was ready to grind, I had nuke on both my foos, so it was like, and I found sirens in a shop, and I'm like, let's just do it here. So, and I didn't do ordeal, so I had no Cecil that went burr, which was heartbreaking because I did see that crystal sword in a shop, and I was like, no. Just back attack Val. I was like, I'm not gonna do that.
Then also, Moon is not required, and I only wanted to go in the big whale only once, so that's another reason I didn't do D money.
Mm.
Fair enough. What was probably the rudest part of the seed for both of you? Was it the Valvalis at Ordeals too? Was it the Wyvern at the top of tower?
For me, it's that Val, just because at that point, the only characters that I have that are melee are the Sid and Rosa with armless arrows. And when I went down and found the edge, it's like, okay, let's attempt that and dart that light sword because, hey, Corsasaur is in aggro, Axicalus is in Mysidia. Let's do this, and got through it. It's like, good. And luckily, I wasn't punished with that Sparkle came out. I think it was a Sparkle. It was something that came out that was potentially rude. It's like, oh wait, I could wipe out of here, but that ordeal stuff is just basically it was my choke point, and at the point, it's like, oh, I'm going through this. I'm going through ordeals. I'm getting my Paladin. I'm going to get my Crystal. I'm going to destroy the seed one way or another. So that's my rudest part of the whole seed.
What do you think, Hart? What part of the seed that you could do without?
Also, the back attack Val was a bit hard, but once I got that second Fu and was realizing I was just going to do reflex strats, I wasn't too mad. But that Wyvern having required Legend Sword, yeah, that one was a little bit worse for me, just because it had my requirement, and I might have been able to beat it the first time if I just slowed down, but that was a little worse because I really had no reason to go to ordeals after that back attack Val.
Yeah, I was cheering for you the entire time to go back up that tower because I know that you bounced off the Wyvern. And then when you're checking Luca, I'm like, no. Worst case scenario, there's the Demus down here, and she walks out whatever Demus has. But luckily that didn't come to part.
No,
go ahead.
No, that's why I double reset, because I'm like, I saw the star Sand Ruby, and I'm like, okay, no, I don't need it. And then I'm like, wait, I haven't seen Demist anywhere. I might as well check it, because my luck is Demist would be been there, but it wasn't. So.
Also, I did a good heads up play when I got to the top of lower battle and I saw that Sparkle. I was this close to running in, then I'm looking at my track. I was like, wait, I haven't seen Ogopogo. I haven't seen Wyvern. If it's Ogopogo, I won't be punished. If it's Wyvern, some of my characters might make the dodge, but I'm going back to save because I'm not going through this whole tower again just because Wyvern decides to show up and cause a bad day for me.
Yeah.
And one question for you, Warlink. I noticed when you pretty much had go mode, when you finished tower, you ran into Dwarf, picked up 15 Sirens, and by that point, I didn't think you had bought the pass already, but had you?
Yeah, I bought the pass. The first thing I saw is when I bought the first set of Sirens.
Gotcha. The entire time I was like, no, go back, get the pass. You went back and bought 5 more Sirens. No, get the pass. Luckily, you knew far better than I did.
Yeah, at that point, I know that the pass is somewhere underground. When I finally got to Dwarf, it's like, okay, there's a pass, and there's Sirens. Let's go grind and tackle each spot because I was in full tilt mode because of Val and back attack with that getting my Paladin Cecil, so I was in full tilt.
Well, you still handled quite well regardless of being in tilt. Any final thoughts on the seeds, either one of you?
No more back attack Val, please. I really did want that Crystal Sword Cecil, but I wasn't gonna deal with it. Otherwise, it was a good seed. I had a lot of fun on that one.
Just give me more melee fires for me because that Val is just basically it's the choke point for me. So where's my melee fires? And all I have is a Sid, and I have to fish out of edge out on the ground. And luckily Rat Tail turned into Magma Key, so hook route is not required. So that's it. It's just basically, hey, you found the hook. Here's the Magma Key. It's like, thanks.
Yeah, well, I'm glad both of you decided to check Rat Tail for that Magma Key before diving that hook route. Allie, do you have any questions for our 2 finalists here?
Nope. I think you covered just about everything.
Well, great. Well, thank you both very much for volunteering to be restreamed and running an excellent race this evening.
Thank you very much, and thank you to the Restream team. We can't do it without you. And yeah.
Same here. Thanks, Ali and Rybon for the commentaries. Thanks, Diabari for rolling the sea that is complete garbage. I'm going to do dot refund and the spoilers. Most likely it's going to be a broken. And Barbara Lover, I hope you like all the buttons you have to push. So thanks for everyone and everyone out there. Have a nice evening.
Good night to you both.
And speaking of buttons, we are done for this evening. We do have our Pink Puff race on Thursday at 8 p.m. and we have a reprise of this flag set on Friday, actual Black Friday, at 10 p.m. But we are going to send you over to our favorite button eater, Possum Orpheus, who is doing a little bit of some flag testing with Flurry. So yeah, head on over there. Try to keep spoilers out because people over there might not have watched this race. Just tell them to give it a watch. But with that, I'm Alyssa. I'm joined here by Rybon, and thank you and have a great night.
Yep. Have a good night, everyone.